trying to battle still running a business, looking after all my clients, looking after a team, going through a breakup, moving to a different city while still balancing comp prep.
Sequoia Stewart, an influential coach and gym owner, characterized by her relentless drive and ambition.
So many people that are going to outwork you, like you have to put in the work, otherwise it's not going to happen for you.
She transformed her body and mind to secure her pro card in 2023, before diving quickly back into comp prep to secure a top spot in her pro debut.
Nobody really thinks about post-show.
Welcome back to the Comp Closet podcast. I'm super excited because I'm here in Sydney with Sequoia Stewart, who is an FMG Pro. She's also an online coach and the owner of the PT Centre Women's Gym. Sequoia, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been really looking forward to our podcast today.
Yes, very exciting. So how did your fitness journey start and what originally drew you to competing?
Sure. So I always watched my dad do weight training, so it did really feel like a natural transition coming like out of high school to go to the gym. In saying that, I didn't jump straight into the weight section as a lot of us women did. I went through the cardio stage. I would do a little circuit of the treadmill, the rower, the elliptical, and I did that for about the first 12 months of my journey. And it wasn't until I invested into a personal trainer who got me into the weight section and gave me a little bit of confidence in the weight section that I started to see an actual change in my body. And I got addicted to that. I loved that I could see my hard work, in the mirror. The first thing that I noticed was my quads grow. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I can have a little quad line. And then from there, I continued to do weight training. I dived in a little bit into like the HIIT style, F45 kind of style training. But I actually had a really close girlfriend who was coached by Rachel Dillon at the time. So that was when Rachel Dillon did comp prep coaching. So this is a long time ago. And we were quite close and we trained together quite a lot, and I got to see her journey to stage. So she competed with WBFF, and I was just so interested in, first of all, like the flexible dieting approach, because I'd never been opened up to that before, but also just like the beauty and the stage side of it. I got to see her experience, and I'm the type of person that, like, if I get an idea, I need to do it straight away. So I was like, I'm going to do a comp. So I actually did an 8-week prep, which is just mind-blowing now, and competed first in 2017. So a long time ago. Makes me sound really old. But my first show, was in 2017, and I actually placed second in my first show.
Wow.
Yeah, which I didn't expect. I honestly didn't even really understand or have a concept of what I was doing. But yeah, I placed second in my first show, and then after that I did consecutive years. So I did 2018, 2019, and then I had a big break, and so that was a mix of opening the PT Centre and COVID. No one was competing in 2020 and 2021. And then I came back in 2023, and that is when I won my pro card, so this time last year. And then I backed it up and did my pro show recently in November.
Yes, incredible. That's quite a few shows as well. Like, you obviously got the stage experience. What did you do when you took that break over COVID and you knew you wanted to come back and compete at some stage? What did you actually do to improve for the next show?
Yeah, for sure. So during that time, I actually didn't go into a deficit at all. So that's no deficit for 4 years, if my maths is correct.
Wow.
So I spent a long time doing a lot of strength training. So I was doing a lot of like low rep compounds. So like my squats and my deadlifts, really working on like the strength training side of things. And to be honest, I wasn't tracking in a surplus that entire time, but I was eating at maintenance or in a surplus for, let's say, 4 years. On top of that, I would say I was really working on building my personal brand. So I was working on the PT Centre, I was educating women, I was starting to, I guess you could say, like, embody what a pro is. And, you can win your pro card without doing all of those things, but I think that really gave me the confidence next time that I came on stage, on top of having a different physique. Like, I'd built more muscle, so I knew I was going to bring something different physique-wise.
Yeah, incredible. Could you see those changes in your physique when you were actually building, or was it not until you shredded that you noticed those changes?
I could see it a little bit when I was building, but as soon as I started to lean out, I was like, whoa, my physique has changed so much.
Yeah, that must have been a really good feeling.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And stepping on stage as a pro, that is like the dream for pretty much any athlete who gets into competing. How did that feel? Talk me through your emotions.
For sure. I remember being backstage and actually just taking a second to look around, and it was actually really emotional. It was actually like just a massive part in my journey to be standing backstage with Tani, Tay, all of those girls. And just, if I even took a moment when I was on stage and I kind of like glanced left and right and I was like, this is incredible. So, I've been competing for a really long time and I've watched those girls and the growth that they've had. And it was just really cool to, be on that pro stage and be in a lineup where like everyone is competitive. Like everyone looks really, really good.
Yeah, incredible. Did you feel any sense of like imposter syndrome, or you just felt pretty confident in what you were doing?
I didn't, honestly, because I did back-to-back shows and I actually went through like a lot in my personal life to get to the pro show. So I, 5 weeks out, went through a breakup, moved cities, had like a lot going on in that prep. So for me to even, it was one of those preps where to even get to stage felt like a huge achievement for me. So I didn't feel pressure to win or to place. And I honestly was just proud to be there and, to be able to even get to stage, because there was a lot of times during my prep that with my coach, Hattie, I was like, should we pull out? Like, not sure if I was going to get there. So to even get to that point, I was really, really proud.
Yeah, that must have been a really tough time, obviously going through a breakup so close to the stage.
Yeah.
Do you feel like prep helped in any way, or what kind of helped you get through and keep pushing?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So obviously being in prep, your body's under a lot of stress already. So having that added external stress was a lot. But I feel like you would know the feeling of like when you're in prep, you're just so driven and you just got to get things done. So it was just one of those things where I'm like, I've just got to do it. I've got to get this done. I've got to move. I've got to do X, Y, Z. And then so I can focus on prep.
Yeah, so really just focusing on your next actions, I
Yeah,
guess, that you
for
needed
sure.
to tick the boxes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. And how did your experience stepping on stage as a pro compare to your previous shows as an amateur?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say definitely the preps were different. So my prep, when I won my pro card, I didn't miss a beat. I made sure that my mindset was so switched on. I made sure I didn't miss a training session, didn't miss a macro. Like I was so 100% on. And I also had a sense, and I mean this in the most humble way possible, but like it was my time to win my pro card. And I'm sure you kind of have the same sense of feeling of when you did win your pro card. It just feels like, this is the right time. And there were so many incredible athletes on that day, not to take that away from them, but in comparison to the pro show, I didn't have that feeling and I didn't really have that expectation on myself. And like I said, there was a lot of external things that were going on. So my prep wasn't 110% of what I would have liked it to be. So they were two very different experiences and two very different expectations on myself for sure.
Yeah, and you still stepped on stage and did incredible and placed on a pro lineup, which is
and I wanted
insane.
To get a call out. I was like, if I can just get a call out, I'll be happy with that. And
yeah.
I got, I think, 4th or 5th call out. So I was like, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it was,
Yeah.
like I said, an insane lineup.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you feel pressure stepping on stage as a pro? Like, did you feel like there were more eyes on you?
The pressure that I felt more so came from, I knew that the judges had just seen me. They just saw me in April, and I was really concerned about them going, oh, she looks worse than what she did in April, to put it in the most simple terms. But I did feel pressure in that sense. But although my coach agrees that, my package for when I won my pro card was a little bit better than what I did for my pro show, my posing improved. I felt so much more calm and like confident on stage in my pro show. And I felt really, really beautiful and I really enjoyed the experience, stepping on stage as a pro. So I'm so excited to do it again.
Yes, and your whole package was insane. Like your bikini, your hair, your makeup, just everything. The whole look was incredible.
Thank you so much. There's hours and hours and hours of thought and Pinterest boards put into it.
Yeah, I bet. So how has being so involved in the competitive industry helped your personal and kind of business life?
Yeah. So for me, competing, and particularly, my last 2 shows, it's given me a reason to set aside time for myself. So being a business owner, being a coach where you're looking after everyone else, there was, the first couple of years of the PT Centre, I was struggling sometimes to make time for my own goals because I'm looking after everyone else. I'm looking after so many other girls. So for me, like when I'm in prep, it's like you have to have that level of selfishness. You have to set aside time for your posing, for your steps, for your cardio, for your training. So I really, really love that part of competing, the personal journey and, the part that forces you to set aside time for yourself. And professionally, obviously, when you are competing, you are showcasing your hard work to your audience, and particularly if you're a coach, that can be a really good thing to show your audience of like how much hard work you put in for yourself. And I have one comp prep client competing this weekend, but comp prep isn't particularly something that I do, but I still think that it still benefits your business as a coach.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And how has your mindset kind of evolved throughout the process of competing?
So if I'm completely honest, in my first show in 2017, when I placed second doing an 8-week prep, it kind of gave me this false sense of like, oh, you didn't have to work too hard and you still got second place. And that's just me being completely honest. And I took that mindset into my next show. And I very quickly learned that that's not the case. Like there's people that have good genetics just like you do. There's so many people that are going to outwork you. Like you have to put in the work, Sequoia, otherwise it's not going to happen for you. And so my 2018, 2019, I placed 5th and I placed 5th again. So it was kind of like, okay, what are you going to do differently? So my mindset coming into 2023 when I won my pro card was very different. I was like, okay, leave no stone unturned. Like Sequoia, you have to not miss a macro, not miss a training session. So I was a lot more, not hard on myself, but just being realistic of like, you've got to put in the work, and it shows.
Yeah, exactly. And what's the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome during prep?
Honestly, my recent pro show, like trying to battle, still running a business, still, looking after all my clients, still looking after a team, going through a breakup, moving to a different city while still balancing comp prep, that was extremely challenging. So yeah, I had a good support network around me. My coach was incredible, plus all of my girlfriends around me. So yeah, really lucky in that sense.
Yeah, amazing. Do you have any tips for someone that's struggling post-show?
Struggling post-show. Nobody really thinks about post-show, do they? They
No.
think about show day. But with post-show, I think a lot of people drop their coach or they stop checking in with their coach when that's probably the time that you really, really need your coach. And the best thing I can say is to just be honest with where you're at, because from a coach's standpoint, we don't know what we don't know. Like if you're binging, if you're struggling to get your training sessions in, your mindset's not there, like you just need to be honest, and a good coach will guide you through that. But I think a lot of people get a little bit ashamed, a little bit embarrassed, and they don't tell their coach what's going on. And I think, that's when you really, really need to be honest and just communicate with your coach.
Yeah, for sure. That's really good advice.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's next for you? Do you have a specific comp date in mind, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to do Bali.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, Bali in December. So I don't know how many weeks away that is. Probably closer than what I think. But I'm going traveling for 4 weeks. So I'm going traveling to Europe in June. So the timing works very well for me. So I'll get back and I'll have 21 or 22 weeks to cut, which is perfect. So yeah, Bali,
Oh,
which is really
perfect.
exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
How are you going to avoid Bali belly when you're
Oh
there?
my God, I've thought about that so many times. I think I'm just going to arrive like 3 days before and just not leave my room.
Yeah.
Find somewhere that's got like a gym downstairs and just stay there.
It sounds like a good plan.
Seriously.
And do you mind sharing a bit about the PT Centre? Because I think it is very cool what you're creating there.
Thank you so much. It's my baby. So yeah, the PT Centre is an all-women's strength training gym. So we're located in Newcastle, and a lot of what we do is educating and teaching women that you can eat all of the foods, you can enjoy a social life, and we really, really focus on like performance-based training. So trying to get women to get stronger. And yeah, it's my biggest passion, and yeah, my baby.
Yeah, very cool. And it seems like you've built such a tight-knit community as well, you know, through events that you run and through group training sessions and all of that, which is really incredible.
Yeah, and I think in a world of like online communities, every time I'm at an event that, you know, that we have, I just appreciate it so, so much, because I'm just like, you know, it's hard to find this. And a lot of the girls have created, you know, incredible friendships from the PT Centre, and it's just, yeah, it's the coolest thing.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we do have time for a few questions from our listeners, so we'll run through those quickly. How can I meet more girls that compete?
Social media. I think just reaching out and just sliding into different girls' DMs and organising to meet up, because I've met so many incredible friends from competing, and actually my housemate, we met through competing. So you can meet so many beautiful people through the competing world, and going to the workshops and going to all the different events and posing workshops that are run. I've met a lot of people that way, but I think take advantage of social media, and just if there's someone that you resonate with, just reach out to them.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many prep-friendly things that you can do as well, like go for a walk or go for a training sesh or practice posing or like bring your meal prep to the movies. There's so many things that you can do and just catch up with someone who's kind of going through the same thing as you, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
The next one is, what's the best part about going pro?
Oh, that's a hard question. What's the best thing about it? I guess it's being able to share all of the knowledge that you've got, you know, with the journey that you've got becoming a pro, to all the competitors and being on the other side. So I'm really excited to be able to like be backstage, you know, help girls calm their nerves and be on the other side of it.
Yeah, I love that. And last question, how do you balance your competitive goals with travel?
With travel?
I feel like that's quite relevant for you.
Yeah, it really is. So I'm actually going to be traveling with Caitlin Sims, who she's another FMG Pro, and we said to each other, if we can get a minimum of 2 sessions in whilst we're away per week, we're happy with that. So
yeah, just maintain.
Yeah, we're just looking to maintain. We're not looking to grow whilst we're away.
Yeah, amazing.
So I guess just setting some non-negotiables. So asking yourself, you know, what's the bare minimum that you can do whilst you're away? Because it's different for every trip. You know, if you're just going away for a weekend, it's going to be different from partying in Europe for 4 weeks.
And obviously it helps to have a travel buddy as well, who's
sure.
kind of going through the same journey,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Well, where can people find you if they want to follow your journey and find out more about your business as well?
Yeah, cool. So on all platforms, it's just at Sequoia Stewart, and then the PT Centre is at the PT Centre _.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in. I'm really excited to watch your clients on stage on Saturday.
Thank you so much.